Hello and welcome to another video. So tonight it's the end of the week. I am making tea for us. Jason's still at work, so it's been a bit of a long day. So I'm going to make lasagna. It's nice easy tea. We've got some garlic bread in, so we're going to have some garlic bread, lasagna and salad for tea. So cook along with me. Okay, so as always I will put the recipe in the comments. To start off with, we have just got our pan on with a tablespoon of oil in. We're just going to let that heat through as that hob heats up. In fact, put it on, that'll help. And to that we're going to add our minced beef. So I have 500 grams of minced beef. So we'll get that pan heated up and get the mince on. Okay, so we've got our mince starting to brown in the pan. So because we're cooking this in advance, we need to make sure this is cooked all the way through. So we want a nice brown colour all the way through. So we just need that to finish cooking, and then we will start to add some seasoning. So because I've only got small lasagna dishes, I'll show you my lasagna dishes. There they are, just little individual lasagna dishes. We don't need a lot in terms of mince and sauce, so we're going to make our own white sauce, and we're also just doing our mince layer. So we just need that to cook all the way through. While it is browning, I am going to add some garlic, well, some garlic granules. We're going to add some garlic because we like garlic in our house, and we're going to add some onion, again onion granules, because if we put fresh onion in it, it'd bulk it up a little bit too much and we don't need the bulk. We're going to add some mixed herbs because you can never have too many herbs. Just a little bit of salt. So we're just going to do, so I do my salt in my hand because it comes out too fast out of this, and I like to be able to measure about a pinch of salt. So that's in there with the beef. So we need the beef to start cooking through. Oh, I smell the garlic and the onion. To this we're going to add tomato puree and a tin of chopped tomatoes to make our tomatoey base, and that is then going to sit and simmer and let all the juices cook down, because we don't need it too watery, but you still need it liquid enough to cook lasagna sheets. So we'll get this cooked through. Right, so we're almost there. Nearly all that pink has gone. There's a few more bits just to brown off. But we'll add our tomato puree. Oh, I've got tomato and garlic. I say we do like garlic in our house. And I'm going to add about a tablespoon. There we go. About a tablespoon. More or less depending on your taste. Obviously everybody has their own personal tastes in terms of things. It's just to add a little bit of richness when we put the tinned tomatoes in, because while tinned tomatoes are nice, they don't always have the strongest flavour, so that little bit of puree just helps a little bit. Okay, so we're going to add our tinned tomatoes. So these are just bog standard tinned chopped tomatoes from Morrison's. Just gonna add those in. And mix through that meat. And then this is going to go onto the back ring to sit and simmer while we do our white sauce. So I'll just get all of that mixed around first, try not to chuck it out the pan. And we're going to pop that on a back hob to sit at a low temperature and simmer until we're ready for it. Okay, so we've got our meat on the back now. That's just keeping warm, simmering through. Just let some of that juice evaporate. And then into our pan on the front, we're going to make a roux sauce that's going to form like our bechamel. So that's the white layer on your lasagna. So in there, I've got 25 grams of butter that I'm just going to melt. When I remember to turn the rings on. Terrible at remembering to turn the rings on. Not when I'm normally cooking, but when I'm filming, yes. So we just want that butter to melt, and then to that we're going to add some plain flour. Okay, so our butter has melted, and to that we're going to add some plain flour. And you want enough plain flour to make a paste. Again, I can't remember the exact ingredients. I do it a lot by eye. But you're basically looking to keep this moving as well as you're adding it, because you don't want it to be lumpy. Nobody likes a lumpy sauce. You're looking to add enough flour to make a paste. So I'll show you what it looks like when I've got the right consistency. I'll get in there we go. Once we get all that mixed in. So you should end up with something like this. Looks a bit like a shoe pastry, the beginning of a shoe. And that's C-H-O-U-X, not shoe that you put on your foot. So once you've got that mixed through, you can pop your pan back on the heat. And we're going to add, to start off with, some milk. So again, it's a little at a time with this. And you need to keep it moving, otherwise it'll thicken too fast and you'll end up lumpy, and nobody wants a lumpy sauce. When you feel that you've done it, or you can with a spoon, you can go with a whisk. Obviously, I'll be using a plastic or whatever it is whisk, because I don't want to scratch my pan. That will do. So when we go with the whisk, and this really helps you keep those lumps down. A little bit more milk. So I usually add about a quart of milk. A quarter to half a pint, depending how fast it thickens. And then once it's thickened enough, I'll add some water and then a little bit of cheese. We're putting cheese on top, so we don't need a lot. So you can see we're starting to get a smooth sauce. Get all that off the edges. You can see that on there, yeah. It's a bit like custard. That's the last of our milk. I'm going to add a little bit of my favourite seasoning. Aromat. Goes great with cheese sauces. Check that the mince isn't burning. Nope. It's just simmering down. So you can see the juice is starting to reduce in that mince. That's what we want. Sauce back up a little bit on the heat. Being watched by a curious puppy dog, you can just see him. Turn that mince down now, we don't want that too hot. Okay, so we'll just let that thicken a little bit. Okay, so I've just added a little bit of water and we've got our sauce. And to that, I'm just going to add a handful of grated cheese. This is just a mixed cheese, So this has got red Leicester, mozzarella and cheddar in. No, don't need much because there's some going on top, so that'll do. Just to give it a bit of extra texture. There we go, you can see how thick that sauce has got now. So our bechamel is just about done. In fact, I might just add a tiny bit of water to that, just to make sure it's not too thick. Go. You can see the cheese on that nice thick sauce. And that's what you get when you add mozzarella. A little bit more liquid. And then we will be ready to assemble our lasagna. Okay, so we are ready to assemble, turn off all things, our lasagna. So we will start with a layer of mince on the bottom. Okay, so we have a layer of mince on the bottom of each tray. Out of the way. Then we're going to add our lasagna sheets. So these I always put a couple just because there is room for them to overlap. Just a couple of lasagna sheets in there. And then once they're in, I'll find a spoon, preferably a clean one. In fact, I'll use a small one. And we're going to add our sauce to the top. So we're just going to add some cheese sauce on top of our lasagna. There we are. So we've got our cheese sauce covering our pasta and meat. And then what we're going to do is add another layer of meat on top of that. Okay, here we go again. So we have a mince. Couple more sheets of lasagna on each one, and then what we're going to do is top it off with our sauce and add some cheese. There we are. So we've got our last layer of sauce on. Excuse me. And all I'm going to do now is add a little bit of cheese to the top. Just a little bit to the top. Go. And I'm also going to add some herbs to the top just to keep that nice herby flavour going all the way through. Just a little sprinkle of herbs on the top. And they're going to go in the oven now, so they will be in for about half an hour at 180, and then we'll see what they look like. Okay, so here we go. Overflowed a little bit, hence why I put them on a baking tray. So that is our cooked lasagnas. So the next part of the video will be Jason having a taste. Just going to let them sit for a little bit to cool because they are very, very hot. Okay folks, so we're back. And Jason's going to find a bit when it's cooled and give us a taste test. Taste test.
Very hot.
The beard's wobbling.
Lovely.
Nice.
Yeah, my eyes are watering because it's a bit hot.
It's very hot.
It's very good. Very nice.
There you go.
10 out of 10. Banging.
Banging. Homemade lasagna. I'll pop the recipe in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.